Hey everyone, Tyson the Subaru Specialist from Subaru Prince George here, and today we're going to be going through the 2026 Subaru Crosstrek Convenience. I'm going to be pointing out all of the changes to the 26s from the 2025s, so let's get to it. So here's the 2026 Crosstrek Convenience in the new color Sand Dune Pearl. So it's close to the old desert khaki you used to get on the 2017s. It was a very popular color. So convenience, you still end up with the black 17-inch wheels, get the black handles, the black mirror caps. Aesthetically, it looks very, very similar other than the color. This is the entry-level model. Still get LED steering responsive headlights with high beam assist. Same styling, that honeycomb grille with those wings that lead into the headlights, and they're ridiculously bright, fantastic at night. You still get the cutouts for fog lights. You can actually get those as an accessory on the Convenience. And the big thing that most people are very, very excited about on the 26s, they all come with the 2.5 liter four-cylinder. So the Convenience and the Touring now have the 2.5 liter. So up from 152 horsepower to 180. So these are very, very zippy. Got a 8.7 inches of minimum ground clearance. So it's essentially an Impreza on stilts, but 8.7 inches is more ground clearance than your standard half-ton pickup. I really like this rear three-quarter view of the Crosstrek. I've always been a big fan. The new style taillights, I like how they wrap the car, and then fuel door is tied to the driver door. If the driver door is unlocked, fuel door is unlocked. If the driver door is locked, pin shoots out, locks in the corresponding hole. Physical vents in the rear bumper for airflow. They have changed all the badging to black badging, which is nice. And then there's a lot more room in here than people expect. Easy open, so I just line my fingers up with the stars, press and lift. And you got a lot more storage than people expect. Tall, wide, deep, lots of room for sports equipment, hockey gear, luggage, the like. There's a halogen cargo light, hides everything from the top of the seats down. We've got grocery bag hooks on either side. So what you do, you hook the loop of your grocery bag around that, and then when you take corners, your groceries don't go tumbling because they're restrained. We also have cup/bottle holders for tailgating on each side. Then these bottom ones, they're not grocery bag hooks, although you could tie something to that, but you can actually get a cargo net accessory that ties in to all four of those and then ties into the hard mount physical tie downs at the front as well. Now, we still have this little mountain motif with the little Crosstrek Easter egg in there. Underneath the false floor, we've got our spare tire and tools. There are little storage cubbies, although they're hard plastic, so if you put like screws or something in there, they're gonna be rattling around in the back, driving you nuts. These seats can be folded down. I don't know if it's gonna go down all the way with the seat belts being done up. It doesn't want it. Oh, there we go. But like, you can dramatically increase the amount of storage you have in a Crosstrek. Like, there's a ton of room. I moved houses with my old Crosstrek. I put a table and chair set in my Crosstrek. We've got Subaru on the inside here. So most people aren't going to see that. You're not going to pay attention to that. Grab handle. You can get an accessory handle if you've got shoulder issues or you're not quite tall enough to comfortably grab it. Give you a quick look at these 17-inch wheels. So they are black, painted metallic. So they're the same wheels as the Touring, but the Touring has a machined alloy face. I actually prefer this blacked out look myself. I don't think that the camera is really doing it justice. Second row, when the seats are up, obviously, you've got a lot more passenger volume in here than you would expect. Tall people will fit, longer legged people will fit. We get the light and dark gray two-tone cloth upholstered interior. Very, very comfortable. Got easy access to the latch system, lower anchors and tethers. For children, for car seats, right behind those little covers. You can tell if it's locked or not. If you see red, it's not locked. If you can't see red, it is locked. Subaru has upgraded safety on the new 26s, so we get side impact airbags in the rear. So that brings it to 10 total airbags in the Crosstrek. Absolutely phenomenal. Subaru's all about safety. That's a big improvement right there. We've got a textured step with a mountain motif. Now, Subaru wants you standing on that if you're loading something onto the roof, if you've got crossbars. One, because this is centered in the vehicle. Two, you're gonna get a lot more of your foot on that than on the tire because the tire sits inside the fender. So, and if I'm standing on the tire, if I go straight up here, I am right at the back of the rack system. Crossbars can only go back as far as here. I'm probably going to end up leaning, potentially putting myself in a precarious situation, especially if it's winter out, snowy, you know, tires are wet. So it is safer to stand on there. Then I always get asked about this on the lighter color Crosstreks, because this is kind of hidden on the darker side. That is what this extra side impact crash safety bar locks into. And this is attached to an extra bar in the door, and that's designed to stop intrusion into the passenger cab in the event of a side collision. So again, Subaru's all about safety. They've had that forever, but the airbags are a nice improvement for sure. We've got a soft touch armrest, hard touch door card, and then down below, we have a bottle holder and storage. If you need it, child locks, easy to use. Now it's important to note, child lock on this door does not tie to that door. You have to do them individually. Up front, driver door card, has a soft touch door card in addition to the soft touch armrest. The front two windows are auto power windows, which means one touch down and one touch up. You of course can just go down in little increments and stop it wherever. Regular power windows for the rear, and you have window lock if you want to stop people from playing with the windows. Power mirror adjustment, you just adjust it to the side you want to adjust, then use it like a joystick. There's a little bit more storage in the door than the rear, and then I would say the bottle holder is a little easier to access. Front seat, same seating material throughout the Crosstrek, but these seats are ridiculously comfortable. Subaru has upgraded the bolstering and the seat materials. You get less vibration and harshness transmitted from the road through the tires, through the car, and into you, and that essentially results in less fatigue, which results in better driving, more alertness. The driver's seat is still height adjustable on a pump system. This is for the seat back, and of course, you still have the manual bar. Now, I'm a big fan of the new style Subaru mat lock for the driver. The old ones used to just be pins you put it down on. These actually lock in place, which is kind of cool. I'm a big fan of that. And then we've got scroll wheel for the brightness of the gauges. On the inside, steering wheel is not leather wrapped, but it's kind of a plasticky rubber. It's not hard touch, it's semi-soft touch. It doesn't feel bad. Left-hand side of the steering wheel, we've got our Bluetooth and audio controls. You can make and take calls, control the volume of the calls and the music, access Google Assistant or Siri through wired Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, volume, source switches from AM to FM to Bluetooth to USB, etc. Whatever music source, and then you can switch between presets. This toggle right here used to be volume, but that now changes our little center display here, and it gives us a different piece of info each time. And it's a toggle, it just goes in a big circle. If you miss the one, you can just hit the toggle the other way. Right-hand side, we have our adaptive cruise and our lane centering. Both of those use these three black boxes, those color stereo EyeSight cameras, to look for cyclists, road lines, pedestrians, and other vehicles. So they're always scanning ahead. They also do automatic emergency braking, which saves you 10% on your basic insurance here in BC. Now, when I turn on cruise, I get an image of the Crosstrek, and you'll see there's a couple bars ahead of it, 3, now there's 4. That is the follow distance behind the vehicle ahead of you. You will follow at if you catch up while using cruise. Now, when I set cruise, I pull down and it'll tell me right there what speed I've set to. Those bars are the follow distance. If I want to follow closer, I press down. And each time I press down, I follow at a closer distance. But 4 bars, 100 kilometers an hour is 150 to 180 feet. So a good safe distance. Now, pair that with lane centering, turn that on, and you get the image of the steering wheel in the hands. Those lines are gray. Above 60 kilometers an hour, if the EyeSight cameras can see the road lines, whether that's one or both, they'll illuminate white on the corresponding side. While you're using cruise, that will go green, and you'll get gentle steering input to help keep you centered in your lane. It'll help take you through corners. We're not hands-free driving. We now have emergency stop assist in the Crosstrek. So if you take your hands off the wheel and there's no driver input, for a while you're medically unresponsive, you've fallen asleep, you're just testing it out, the steering, you're going to get some audibles, and then it will actually pulse the brakes to try to wake you up or get you to respond. And if that doesn't work, it'll actually slow you down, it'll bring you to a stop, it'll apply the park brake and unlock all the doors. I have a video going over that. I'll include that in the video description. So check that out. It's a pretty cool safety feature. Steering wheel, tilt, and telescopic, so it fits drivers of varying heights, leg and arm lengths. And then what they've added paddle shifters, even to the convenience model, which is really nice. So before, you just had drive and low gearing in this, but you actually get to manually select your own gears with the CVT if you'd like, which is a very cool feature. I'm a big fan of paddles. I use them all the time while I'm driving. Big fan of those. We have our two 7-inch touchscreens, our infotainment. Top portion, we've got apps, so wired Android Auto, wired Apple CarPlay, settings, radio, media. You can turn the display off. You can add additional shortcuts if there's somewhere in the settings you go all the time. Got our 4-ways. It's just got a sticker on it right now, but they are the 4-way flashers. And we still have physical volume and tuning knobs, which is really nice. When you put it in reverse, the backup camera pops up. You can see the top of the bumper there, so you have something to relate to. And you can see the washer fluid coming off the back window there. And those orange lines move, show you where you're going to end up if you keep the wheel turned that way, which is handy for parking lots for sure. Now, we have physical buttons below. You don't always have to use the touchscreen. Only controls the top. Home always takes you home. Very, very easy. Now, the bottom portion, we've got things like X mode, which is like 4-low in a pickup. And Subaru has added deep snow and mud mode to all of the Crosstreks, which is nice. So before, the convenience in the touring just had snow and dirt. Now we get deep snow and mud, which also deactivates traction control. It allows for excess wheel spin in this one to chew you out. But this is for off-road, super steep, up, down, speeds of under 40 kilometers an hour. So it's a very capable system, takes a very, very capable all-wheel drive system, makes it even more capable. We've got settings under vehicle control. You can turn off things like the steering responsive headlights. Like, there's lots of things you can kind of customize to make it your own. You can have warning buzzer only, kind of all functions for the lane departure. If there's things you don't like, you don't have to use them. You can disable auto start stop. We have our heated mirrors and back window, front defrost, and then it is dual zone climate control even in the entry level model, which is really nice. So it goes up or down in 0.5 degree increments. If my passenger gets out, I don't have to fiddle with their side. I simply click and I click sync. And then I can control where I want my airflow. I've got my fan strength buttons. It's all really easy to use. Doesn't take that long to get used to if you're coming from something with physical buttons. Below that, we've got our USB and our auxiliary and a rubberized device storage area. The USB is where you plug in with a decent factory equivalent cord for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It is the automatic CVT with the manual mode where we can use the paddles. When I'm in manual mode, it does show bottom left there, I'm in first. Now I'm in second, and that was using this paddle here. It won't let me start off in like sixth or something. And if I press the down paddle, it takes me back to first. So you are kind of speed limited for gear, but it's just making it so you can't stall out or do something silly. We've got our park brake, which is electronic. Pull up to activate. If I push down on it, I have to have my foot on the brake and then push down to turn off the park brake. Safety thing. The cup holders are offset. They're easy to access. You've got drink raisers, so you take that out if you got a tall drink. Use it if you got a short drink so it's not sitting down too low. Heated seats with the cloth seats heat up ridiculously fast. I had it on high, didn't realize that I'm absolutely cooking. I've got a 12-volt power point, cigarette lighter plug, a little bit of storage back here, which is admittedly very awkward to access if you have something there. Someone's going to put a coin there or a pen there, and it's going to be a pain to get. Semi-soft touch armrest. And there's a ton of storage in there. No power point in there, but there is a place to run cords through. I do wish that they put a power point in there myself. Then up top, we've got map lights. We've got vanity light with mirror, or vanity mirror, no light, sorry. And then we do have extenders, and that's on both the driver and passenger mirrors. Great if the sun's directly at your left or your right. I'll show you under the hood. It is the 2.5 liter, so I always get asked, where's the hood release? You just reach back here. There's the little icon. Just line your hand up and pull. Then, just like any Subaru, line your hand up with the right-hand side of the hood, move from right to left, and there it is. 2.5 liter 4-cylinder boxer engine producing 180 horsepower. Pretty much everything in yellow is what the average consumer is going to touch during their ownership. So we've got things like your engine oil dipstick, our coolant reservoir, the oil filler cap, our washer fluid, and our brake fluid. We still have the top mount oil filter, which a lot of people like, and easy access to the battery. It's not tucked in somewhere where you have to pull a tire or remove a headlight or anything to access that, which is nice. And then I just simply drop it to close it. I don't like putting my hand on it and pushing down. It feels like I'm going to break it. Or dent it, I should say, not break it. So that's a quick look at the 2026 Subaru Crosstrek Convenience in the new sand dune. I'm a big fan of the color. I think it's going to be a sharp looking color. It stays really, really clean. I've had some people take them down some dirt roads already. new owners, and you can't really tell that they're all that dirty, other than on the black cladding. So thank you for sticking with me and watching my walkthrough of the 2026 Crosstrek Convenience. If you guys have any questions about this car that I'm in, something you saw in the video, or a question about Subaru in general, please put it in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys, interacting with you. If you're in British Columbia or willing to make the trip to Northern British Columbia to purchase a Subaru, I would love to help you. Please reach out and let's see what we can do. Again, I'm Tyson, the Subaru specialist from Subaru Prince George. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk soon.